Welcome to Motivation and Muscle, the podcast that connects your brain to your brawn.
Hi, Douglas Graham here reporting for Motivation and Muscle, and I'm here with Big Nellie, aka Big Nellie, he said. He's known in the circuit. He is a veteran Highland Games competitor, powerlifter. There's a whole plethora of it, so what I'll do is I will get Neil himself to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Neil, tell us a bit about yourself,
Well,
please. Welcome to Motivation and Muscle.
My name's Neil Elliott. I've done track and field from the age of 11 up until I was roughly 35 years of age, but through a serious elbow problem that occurred when I was 11. Believe it or not, I broke my arm off when I was 11 and they had to put a hinge in and build it up and push it back. But now I've got osteoarthritis in it and I can't bend my arm back into my chin now. I once was Scotland's best shot putter for 10 years and one of the best shot putters in the world off grass, and now I'm arguably one of the worst because I have to throw left-handed. Yeah. But it's never really held me back, purely because there's other events at the Highland Games which I do when I'm on the circuit. And then I get invited here to the stone lifting, and today I actually won the stone throwing competition and I won a lovely silver tanker, which is very nice.
Is the tanker close by?
It's in my bag over at bag.
Can you grab that box out for us, please, Colin?
So,
that's excellent, and it was by a fairly significant amount against pretty significant
yeah,
competition.
I was really pleased with the distance. It was really nice.
I thought Big Jamie was going to take it.
I thought Jamie was going to catch, but not quite. So
the Ren Drag Stone Throw. Donald Dunnigan, sponsor Stephen Karen Gardner. It's beautiful if you can see that. That's lovely, and that was specifically for the stone throwing event. So how are you getting on in the whole thing so far?
All right. I mean, the first event had a bit of a nightmare. I found the stone very, very slippy, and when I was trying to lift the Bologna stone, it kept slipping out my hands, and I'd never ever lifted it before. I haven't done any stone lifting for a long, long time. And then in the second event, the Brit Nickel Stains, which was a bit like the Dinny Stones, you pick them up, carry them for distance. Yeah. I actually picked them up and nearly went over my ankle and went flying over one side of the stones.
Do you know, I think I might have caught that.
And then I picked them up again and I walked, not bad, 19 feet. So I was happy with that. And then the third event, obviously the stain throw, which I won, which I'm over the moon about.
Yeah, you will be.
And then I've got the Ardblis Stones behind us, which is the last event we're going to do today.
I think we will have to get all of that on camera. I think the final event, the Ardblis Stones, that's going to be exciting. Is it quite close so far?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
It's pretty close,
Good, excellent, that's good, glad to hear it. So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, what age are you now?
48.
If you don't mind me asking. 48.
I'm the old man of the competition.
Old man of the comp, aye.
Yeah.
But still winning this, you must be chuffed to bits to win the stone.
Oh, I'm chuffed to bits to win the event, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great stone lifters, big strong guys. So to come here and do this, it's been pretty good, I took a day off from the Highland Games to come here.
Were you at the Boyne Games?
I was there, but I wasn't competing. I was resting up for today, but I'd done 2 games last weekend, which went very, very well. And the Tuesday before that, I came third in the World Championships.
Our next competitor, ladies and gentlemen, Mr.
Because I'm one of the very, very best caber tossers in the world. I was actually unlucky not to win it. I thought I had won it. But to come third on the podium, it's brilliant. So I can't moan.
Excellent. So as a guy that has such a broad spectrum of skills within the strength and the physical game, talk us through a little bit about what your training is. Is it depending what you're doing, you're specific to that, or do you keep a kind of continuity in your conditioning and your strength and everything?
The thing is, I train on a Monday night and I do shoulder work and a bit of chest. on a Tuesday I have off. It's my rest day.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for Gordon. Gordon,
Wednesday I
making an attempt at
do
his
quite a
initials.
heavy squat and deadlift session. And then on a Thursday, bench press. And we do 4 variations of bench press, always on a Monday.
Okay.
And then Friday off. Saturday I go to the gym with the wife, but normally in the summer I'm at the Highland Games on a Saturday, Sunday, but in the winter I go down to the gym on a Saturday to help the wife because she does a bit of powerlifting as well and general training. And then on a Sunday I go in and do a like more specific dynamic squat and deadlift, but we always do 3 exercises and with variations of bars and stuff like this with rubber bands, chains, all this kind of stuff, and which is pretty exciting. And just recently I've actually been lifting some of the biggest weights I've lifted for easily 10 years.
Brilliant.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and the fact that we're going off to Slovenia in October, middle of October, for the World Powerlifting Champs, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I believe you won the World Powerlifting
I've been the world natural powerlifting champion, and I also hold the world record in the bench press.
Nice. What was that?
265 kilos.
Damn, that's impressive.
That's
yeah.
pretty big.
That is
So,
pretty big.
but yeah, so it's a lot of hard work, a lot of hard dedication, motivation. But I mean, my son Thomas is the British Junior Olympic weightlifting champion. My wife's been Scottish powerlifting champion. So it's it's in the family. And my mum, believe it or not, back in the day was the English schools long jumping shot put champion, which I've also been the Scottish senior shot put and long jump champion.
Well, you've got a long, rich
So
history
it's
then.
kind of
yeah.
crazy,
That's pretty awesome. So what do you think is responsible for your more recent kind of spurt in lifting more than you've ever lifted before?
I think
Is
to
there
be
anything
fair,
it, do you
I've had a great run of training, no injuries. A great balance to my training as well. Obviously the eating side of it, the nutrition, which I've always been highly on, and obviously sleeping.
Yeah,
plays a big
this
part of
is
it.
the one.
The
This is
mental
the one
side
for
of
Gordon.
it, big side of it, which a lot of people don't realise and don't take on board.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that I'm kind of installing into my son more than anything.
It's not quite there.
The psychological side of it, and because a lot of guys can train their heart out in the gym and tell you they've done great numbers, but when you put them on a platform, they fall to bits.
Yeah.
And
Just before we
Brett
finish off this
Nicholl
session,
earlier, and he
Steve,
was telling us
we'd like to
he's
have
going
him
on
go,
300 lifts now
because
in the
he's working
Dinnies.
to try and hold them as
That's
well.
what he was saying, because I mentioned that they can be rough even on the best lifters, because last year at the Garden he couldn't get them off.
Could lift them.
But it's all about that stage.
That's
and
it.
He says that was him. He was able to finally get over that, and it felt amazing.
Get over that hurdle. Exactly. I mean that was like 2 years ago. I came up here and lifted the Dinnies and held them for the longest time. And it's a 334 kilo lift. It's a heavy ass lift,
It is, yeah.
and to be able to do it like I did was pretty incredible. So I was chuffed to bits with that, and probably the staying throw today was probably the second best thing I've done here. So I was over the moon about that as well.
Excellent.
So yeah.
What do you reckon is the hardest thing?
He's already lifted them today. He just wants to see if he
I
can
think
hold them
the
for a
hardest
while.
part about the Dinnies is the
A
fact
few
that
seconds.
one's 188 kilos, one's 134, one's got a big ring on it, one's got a small ring on it, and they pull you from one side to the next. So you have to be, really, really strong core.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've always been a great believer on as well. Too many athletes can be big, can be strong, but they seem to break down because they've got a very weak core.
Yeah.
And
Stop watching
the
that,
fact
Nellie. Here
for
we
me
go.
is being a thrower and a thrower's background, I've always had a really, really strong core, and that was one thing that my sports coach always worked on, to have a strong core and a strong back, and a super, super strong grip as well,
You tell them,
which I
Steve,
do
you tell
have.
them.
So like I say, it's the way it has to be.
Yeah. So with the walk, what did you find the trickiest part when you're trying to walk?
The underground surface. There was a slight decline on the grass.
I noticed
and
that,
it
and
was
it's on
very,
the heavy
very,
stone
it
side
was
as well.
very, very unforgiving. And my first step, I went over. I flipped right over the top of the stone, landed on my back.
Oh, right.
And because I put my foot down, I hit a bit uneven ground, went over a my ankle. And I think if I'd really went over it bad, I probably would have broke my ankle, which I have done before, throwing, believe it or not, and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, I can believe it.
But that there, today, to lift them up again and walk as far as I did, I was pretty chuffed.
Yeah,
It was good, you know.
Getting them
Well done,
back,
Stig.
getting back at
Great
it
effort.
is the way.
Not
to go.
once, but 3 times today.
Oh, excuse me.
Absolutely wonderful.
Excuse me. So where is it? What's next for you from here? What have you got? You've achieved so much in the strength games. Such a broad spectrum again. Highland Games,
Buzzing off, no wee presentation.
powerlifting,
Gordon
strongman,
Ingram.
UK
Wants to say a
strongest
few
man,
words.
world's strongest
I
man.
competed
as well?
at Britain's Strongest Man. My last competition was in 2004, and then I moved specifically to the Highland Games. I retired from track and field just purely to work on the Highland Games. And then the boys kind of pushed me towards powerlifting as well. And then I get involved in the dinnies because I've always been fascinated by all forms of strength, and especially natural stone lifting, which I do a lot of, and I travel all over Scotland doing this. And I mean, the Highland Games is my bread and butter, and that's plain and simple. I just love throwing. And even from when I was a child, living beside the beach in Hellsborough growing up, I'd take the dog down the beach and I would throw stones as far as I could into the water and try to throw stones as far, on the beach. And that was how I think it all kind of came together, in a funny way. But hey.
So with all that under your belt, what
Thank you very much,
have you got your sights set
Every
on
single
for
competitor up here
next?
This next.
has been supported
Well,
by Brett.
I'm back in the
Not
Highland
only today,
Games
but all the way
circuit
through the years,
next
and
weekend.
last year, the year before,
I'm
so he's always
at
up
North
there.
Berwick Highland
He's
Games on
always like
Saturday.
the rest of the guys here,
And
so all
the
supporting
following
each other.
weekend I'm in
And Brett
Glasgow Green at the
is
World
always
Pipe
there
Band
for them,
Championships,
especially with the
and I'm doing the
Dennis
Highland
Stones.
Games there as well. And then the following weekend after that, I'm going to be at Rothsay on the Saturday,
The final
and then I'm at
event,
Cumnock
ladies and
Highland
gentlemen,
Games
is
on
the
the
Arm
Sunday,
Player Stones
and
at
then
the
the
blue and
following
white
week
gazebo.
Cowell Highland
Head up
Games,
there in 10 minutes
Friday
time
and
for the last
Saturday.
event of the day.
my
Thank you very
hometown,
much
Cowell.
for
Yeah,
joining us
Cowell
here.
Games,
Aye.
Used to
At
watch
the
guys like
tractor and
Six
trailer, make your way
that
back up
many moons ago.
to
come
the
to
Oh, a long
that.
time ago now.
Yeah.
Gazebo with the
I've won
last
Dunoon quite a
events.
few times.
The
Yeah,
Arm
yeah.
Player Stones will be
I don't
taking
really
place
see
today
it
in
anymore,
10 minutes
but
time.
I spent many years working the door, so I never saw the games for like
Aye,
15
never seen it,
years.
never seen it.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah.
maybe try and catch them again,
But,
especially if I know you're going to be there. So what age did you start from, did you say?
11.
Well, I'm on that's 11. Yeah. So it's really, you've been doing it
37
your
years.
entire life. Yeah.
37 years without a year off, and that's been doing a plethora of sports, all power sports, and I mean it's dominated my whole career, my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest, to still being able to do it now, I can't believe it, because nearly everybody that of my era is gone through bad injuries and retirement and being put out of the sport through terrible injuries. And everybody always says, but Big Nellie must be made of kryptonite or something, Superman, And and the crazy thing is, during the night I'm training as a powerlifter, but at the weekends I'm a Highland Games thrower. But I've got a great bunch of boys behind me, and they push me and motivate me, look after me, keep me safe.
Good.
And so and a lot of them are here today as well, watching and participating.
That's brilliant. And that reminds me of what my other question was. Well, I'm going to make this twofold. I was going to. The main question I wanted to ask is, do you coach? With your experience, your pedigree, and obviously, what is it? 48? You said, John?
48, yeah.
48. So I mean, are you coaching anyone
I do
else?
I do a small amount of coaching, believe it or not. I mean, even when I'm in the gym, I coach the boys, even when we're training, when we're moving along, we're doing these kind of things, And at the Highland Games, I coach, and I have done a lot of coaching through the years myself. But I just find it hard because I'm still competing at a high level, even in what I'm doing now. So I find it hard because the training I do even now takes over my whole life, So it's hard,
No, that's understandable. I believe we may be getting prepped soon for the
Adbless.
I see Steve Gardner heading over there with his aficionado chair, so we better let you go, my man.
Well,
listen,
thanks
that
a lot.
was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, man.
It was good to get you up there.
Thanks for looking after my bag.
Well, I know
All
you're
day.
more than welcome. Wasn't going to argue.
Well, it's because it was raining, man. I thought I better get it under
I know
cover,
it didn't start well. Hopefully those stones are drying. You get a right good runner.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Oh, I hope so.
Take care.
Yeah, man.
See you later.